Oh.
Manuela, isn't it a bit rude to sigh at someone the moment you see them enter the room?
Hanneman, isn't it a bit rude to tell others how to behave? Besides, I could be sighing about any number of things more interesting than you.
Goodness, you're unusually irritable today. Don't you imagine your attitude a bit excessive? You snap at every little thing, your ill mood on display for one and all. It saddens me to see such behavior from one who should be setting a good example for the younger generation.
Well, listen to the noble lecturing a lowly commoner to be on her best behavior. Oh, wait, I meant to say the former noble.
I fail to understand how my birth is relevant to the topic at hand. I was merely trying to say that as a fellow adult...
You're not done lecturing yet? Leave me alone and go pester someone else. Maybe leave everyone alone and go focus on your precious crest research.
I don't know what to say to you, Manuela. I was only speaking out of honest concern.
Oh, was that a sigh I heard? Isn't it a bit rude to sigh at someone just because...
Don't be so childish. You are so sensitive to ill will from others, yet you let your own emotions run wild. Why is it that you cannot keep a handle on yourself?
Keep a handle on? Well, I've never. What makes you think you're so much better? Just because you keep your emotions bottled up behind your stupid, stony face. Well, it doesn't mean everyone else has to do the same. Stop telling everyone how to behave, Hanneman. It will make you and the rest of us much happier.
I will not stand for this insolence. It is high time someone taught you.
Go on! If you think you can change me, I'd like to see you try. Ha! Thought so. You wouldn't dare.
Absolutely insufferable. Manuela, I would like to apologize. The other day, I said some things to you that I am, well, not proud of in the least.
Oh no, Hanneman. It is I who should be apologizing. I behaved in just the most dreadful, dreadful manner. I was just lashing out at everything. You were right to call me out. Really, and I do very much mean this. I'm so sorry for my behavior.
No, please, pay it no mind. Actually, I'm thankful for what you said during our conflict.
Thankful?
Yes, you made me realize that I have a somewhat meddlesome nature. Thanks to you, I believe I found an area in which I can improve myself.
I could say the same thing, you know. Your accusations, they really hit home. After I cooled down, I realized you were right. I really ought to try and keep my emotions a bit more under control.
Well, that's good to hear. It seems this wasn't a fruitless clash for either of us.
Oh, indeed. There's nothing more depressing than a pointless fight, is there? Don't you wonder, though, just how many times we've had this same argument?
We do always seem to be at one another's throats before we even realize it. I don't know how we manage to keep it up.
You're not wrong. Something the matter, Hanneman?
Well, it's just... you don't smile like that very often. But when you do, it is quite charming. Perhaps your struggles in love are due to your reliance on false affection instead of your more natural charms.
Well, thank you for the compliment. Even if you did have to spoil it with criticism. If you weren't so judgmental all the time, maybe you'd have had more luck in romance yourself.
What? Manuela, as your friend, I was only trying to give you a useful bit of advice.
And that so-called advice is exactly why I call you meddlesome and overbearing.
There it is.
Hanneman, who said
Manuela
he was going
begins to
stop being
protest
so
even when she
meddlesome.
knows the fault lies with herself.
You keep doing things that aren't called for. It's driving me batty.
You presuppose I am only thinking of you.
Oh, let's just not do this, shall we? I don't know why we always end up fighting.
It can hardly be helped. You and I seem opposed to one another on a, let's call it an instinctual level. Perhaps this could even be considered a form of fate.
What an awkward fate to have. I'd like you a lot more if I just hated you. All this fighting and making up is just exhausting.
Agreed, yes. It does feel as if we have fallen into a rather tiresome bit of repetition.
What a waste of effort. We're absolutely hopeless, the both of us. Here's a thought. Couples who are similar to one another, share the same views and all that, they're pretty successful. But complete opposites work together too. Surprisingly well sometimes. They compensate for each other's weaknesses, and they support one another. Then I look at how hard we work just to avoid screaming at each other, and I don't buy it.
Don't be so hasty to dismiss your own hypothesis. For instance, I am apt at cleaning, but have no talent for cookery, whilst you loathe cleaning, but are a splendid chef. Would it not be an easier life if, rather than struggle through our weaker areas, we divided the work?
I suppose our differences do have their advantages that way.
Indeed, if we combine our abilities, housework would be conquered and dinner rendered delicious. There are other ways we could find to support one another, I would imagine. We might make a better pair than you think. You and I, together.
You might be onto something. You and I could be pretty good together. Wait, why are we talking about this? Are you trying to propose marriage with promises of clean floors? You think I'm that easy of a catch? Honestly.
I did no such thing. You were the one who started discussion on the topic in the first place. You were agreeing
so this
with
is
me.
my fault
If you have
now?
objections,
I never said
then
a
let's
word
hear
about
them.